today I'm getting ready in Carnage for the 2015 Moses Lake, Washington $1,000 bounty hole challenge. And we're gonna get the truck ready here and take a... hold on. Just give me a moment here. Alright. We're getting Carnage ready for the 2015 Moses Lake Bounty Hole Challenge. All these other years, my trucks have tried to stop me from going and pretty much mutinied me from going. So let's see if... really? Alright, we're gonna try this one more time. Getting Carnage ready to go to the bounty hole. So here... Are you kidding me? I just broke my axle shafts. Dang it. Those are 2.5 ton Rockwell axle shafts too. But you know what? I really don't have the money to go on this trip anyways. So I think I'm gonna have to sit this year out again. I can't believe this.
My name is Alan, and I have an addiction. But drugs or alcohol have no part in my life. I've never smoked anything, never chewed tobacco, never drank a beer, though that doesn't stop me from having friends that do. Safety, respect, and responsibility doesn't mean that you can't have fun. We live in the inland Northwest, a land of mud, rocks, and mountains. In my world, Larry is the delivery guy, and Jeremiah is the cable guy. We're a big group of people of all different types that share a common interest, and for the most part, all get along. It's like one big happy and slightly dysfunctional family. Regardless, I'm honored to share my journey with all of these people I call friends, and I want to share their stories with you. This is my life of big trucks and low bucks.
Since I can't afford to take my trucks to the bounty hole competition, I'm going to concentrate on making a little bit of extra cash. So I've got a trip planned to take me across the state to sell some transmission cores and an axle. This will also bring me right past the competition on the way home, so I can at least stop and watch. But for now, I've got to drop off this trailer, fix my other trailer that needs a little bit of wood deck repair. So in the meantime, while I'm doing this, Let's talk to Brandon Douglas in Moses Lake.
Hey guys, I'm Brandon from Moses Lake Sand Scorpions. We host the Moses Lake Bounty Hole, $1,000 bounty hole. We've been running it for 3 years now. The first 2 years was hosted by the Buchanan boys, and they moved on to other things, and we took over, and it's grown ever since. I've been a part of the Sand Scorpions my whole life. They started in 1990. Well, I was born in 92, and that's all I've known ever since I was born. I've off-roaded here my whole life, and as well as mountains and everywhere else you can go.
The last 3 years, the mudslide had gone with me to the Moses Lake sand dunes and mud flats. We threw it together with parts I had from other rigs its first year, and we were on the winning team for the team mud bogs. I never ran it at the bounty hole, but the last 2 years I took it out there, it had fuel pump issues, so I finally broke down, bought a new pump, and then of course the engine spun a bearing. And Carnage now needs a starter, axle shafts, and a bunch of time and money I can't spare. Plus with the hassle on top of it all of changing out the huge tires, it's more work than it's worth to me. As much as I'd like to go take a truck with me to play this weekend, all the others need work too, so I need to concentrate on the trip at hand. I've got 4,000 pounds of cardboard recycling to drop off, which hopefully will be my fuel money. I'm also going ahead and pulling and loading 5 transmission cores to bring with to sell on the other side of the state, including a rear axle, and I've got a car lined up to grab from Portland, Oregon to haul back to Moses Lake for a friend AJ. I'm headed now to drop off the cardboard. Let's talk to Daniel Buchanan about the bounty hole beginnings.
What's up guys, I'm Daniel Buchanan out of Rerouting, Washington. My brothers are Jacob Buchanan and Zane Buchanan. We do a lot of four-wheeling over here around the sand dunes, mud flat area. I've been doing it for quite a few years. I guess it was 4 or 5 years ago. I was talking to a buddy of mine about doing something, you know, maybe draw some more people to the mud flats, maybe doing a competition where little money involved, you know. It was actually, as my buddy Jake Downs, he's out of George, Washington. And he's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So I was like, well, I'm gonna call around and see, you know, how much money I can scrape up. Well, the first 10 people I called, including my brothers, everybody was like, we'll throw in $100, you know, make it $1,000 bounty hole, throw in $100. And that was awesome. I knew they were doing that stuff down south, you know, and bringing in pretty big crowds. So the first year we did it, you know, it was a pretty big hit. There's a lot of people came out. There were some good rigs, and then it just got bigger and bigger as time went on.
I just finished dropping off the cardboard, and I'm headed next to Pasco, Washington, to meet up with Jacob Wright. I have a pair of headers of his that I've got to drop off with him on my way through, so I'm headed there next. But in the meantime, let's talk to Zane Buchanan about his truck.
Hi, my name is Zane Buchanan. This is it started out as a 1979 crew cab Chevy. I started on this probably 6 years ago. I got it from a guy in Ephrata. It was leaf sprung. Had just an old worn out big block in it. And it was 1 ton then, but I ran it around, replaced some wheel bearings and stuff on it, and the motor blew up in it. So I stuck a big block out of that Jeep down there in the hole. I stuck the 427 into this and got it all set up, got everything working perfect on it, and I went four-wheeling with a couple guys from around our local area, and I had a lot of axle wrap, and I broke the rear U-joint. The axle wrap down, and I broke it, and I took it in the shop, and that's when I tore it completely down. I had the body off of it, frame, I had everything you could take apart of it off, and that's whenever I started building it from there. I did all the suspension work, everything, top to bottom. I just finished. I sent it to a couple places that they like Cam Smith. He did like the front fenders. He did some wiring. He's the one that I had a 6-liter that I put in it, 2004 6-liter. And I ran it actually one time. Once I got all done, I put the 6-liter in it, and I went out and went four-wheeling with it one time, and it ran fine, but it just wasn't enough power. So I mean, they're gutless kind of stock. So that's whenever I took it over to Cam's, and I was actually going to have them put a turbo and some stuff on it, but once I started looking into prices and different routes, I mean, ended up with a 632 big block from White's Performance. They're based out of Kingsport, Tennessee. It's just a low compression giant 632. I mean, they dynoed it at 924, and I think it was like 875 torque, and that's without nitrous. And then I put a 300 Charlie nitrous on it.
I've dropped off the headers with Jacob Wright, and now I'm on my way to Portland. But there's kind of a weird vibration coming from the shifter handle. I'm not really sure what it is. Geez, what was that? I gotta pull over and see what's going on. The truck still rolls freely, and it didn't make any noise after that one cracking, popping noise. But there's a bunch of fluid underneath on the ground. Well, that's definitely going to set me back. My transfer case is literally cracked in half. I'm almost certain now my trucks are in a mutiny against me to keep me from going to the bounty hole in any way or form. Now I have to find a way back. The Moses Lake sand dunes and mudflats is full of activity now, with locals and out-of-towners rolling in for the weekend's events. Meanwhile, I'm in Boardman, Oregon, where Jacob Wright and his dad, Jeff Wright, had to come and give me a tow using my own trailer behind their truck. But the crew cab almost caught on fire twice now. We have to try and reroute some temporary exhaust they threw on before continuing to Jeff's shop in Kennewick, Washington. There I'll have to unload all the transmissions and rear axle and stuff I have very neatly loaded in the Dodge to try to reduce the weight on the old crew cab so he can tow me clear back to Spokane. In the meantime, I'm also checking on the phone, trying to locate a transfer case to see if there's an easier option to fix the truck instead of going home, but it's not looking too likely. So it looks like I'm gonna have to get towed clear back and start over.
Okay, predictions this year for the Moses Lake Bounty Hole is Tier Pots for the win. Buchanan, we're coming for you, buddy. Remember that.
Buchanan, we are coming for you. You can't take it 2 years in a row. It just ain't gonna work. Coming to get you.
My silver dually truck was at Joe's shop about to get brakes, but I had to have Jeff drop me off there so I could grab it and use it the way it is. I dropped off the blue Dodge in Spokane and turned around, headed back to Jeff's shop to pick up and reload all the transmissions and the axle and parts, then continued to Portland, Oregon, actually a bit southwest of there, to pick up a car for AJ. Once I get this car loaded on the trailer, I can head north towards Battleground, Washington next, to drop off a transmission that Robert Schmidt sent with me to go to someone else's mega truck project. I just dropped off this transmission. Now I'm headed north towards Tacoma, Washington, but I'm noticing some smoke or something from my trailer tire. So I have to pull over and check this out.
Notice the tire rubbing. Found out that the wheel bearing was about ready to fall off. So I'm taking the weight off the tire to tighten the spindle nut back down, which almost fell off.
Well, my little brother Zane Buchanan, last year he won the bounty hole. First time he ever drove it, as far as in the mud, was there, and he won the bounty hole with it. Him and Cam Smith have been working together. Cam Smith with Camco Racing Innovations out of George, and they did a few modifications to it, put some nitrous on it, different stall converter, and they're gonna take it out there and run it. And I think it's gonna be the first time that it's ran since last bounty hole. To take it out there and see what it'll do, and hopefully it'll do good.
So the outer wheel bearing decided to come apart. Running on only 3 wheels, I'm going to transfer the weight of the car to the other side of the trailer as much as I can.
Yep, that's it. I'm convinced something is trying to stop me. If it's not my mud rigs, it's my normal rigs. If it's not them, it's my trailer. But 4 wheels or 3, I've still got places to go. Next, I'm stopping in Graham, Washington, and here I'm going to drop off these transmission cores. Now I finally have some cash for the rest of this trip. Next, I'm stopping in at Mike's in Frederickson, Washington. Mike's not here, but his dog's happy to see me. I'm going to unload this Toyota axle here for Odie, a mutual friend of ours. We'll grab it his next time he's up from Arizona. I'm going to hurry and get out of here before Mike comes back and tries to talk me into selling him my Buick that he wants, and I won't give up. I've got 200 miles to go, but I'm not too worried. They never start on time, so I think I'll still make it. $162 miles left. 3 wheels on the trailer. Can't go too fast, but I'm sure I'll still make it there in time. $120 miles left to go. Everything's going slowly but smoothly. No problems. Down to 80 miles left to go. I mean, what are the odds that they actually started on time or early this year? Only 42 miles left. I know I'll make it in time, but I get this strange feeling that I'm missing out on something. I don't know why. I'm finally pulling up here to the Moses Lake sand dunes. A little bit late. AJ's picking me up in his Jeep and giving me a ride out to the mud flats. And hopefully there's going to be something left to see. He's really rushing to get me out there. Well, of course, we just pull up as everything is done. So, I missed all the action. Zane came out the winner of the $1,000. Although Tyr made it furthest, she hit a stake and went out of bounds before Zane's mark. Dave needs me to drive his Razor back to camp following them, so at least I get to cruise the dunes and drive something after all. I guess sometimes schedules and plans don't always work out. Sometimes things take me off course too. But life puts me where I need to be, when I need to be. And it's the stories and the people behind the scenes of the action that make life just as interesting to me as the show itself that people put on for the crowds. And I still made it in time to deliver this back window for Brandon's Jeep. I can head now to AJ's to drop off this car. And then after this, while I'm in town, to meet someone else to pick up a starter for Calvin. Of course, now I'm finding out that one of my headlights went out too. Plus my belt started squealing badly, making a lot of noise. The mutiny against me continues, but with one headlight and 3 trailer tires, I'm going home. Just like Tyr and Zane, I won't give up on trying to make it to the finish line.
Again, so we won it 2 years in a row, and it was just kind of coincidence that we started it, and then he finally got his truck built, and then won it 2 years in a row. It's pretty cool.
2 years, okay, 3 bulls. We'll see. It's gonna be a big year, big year, big year.
Shocked again. I mean, there's definitely trucks that had just as much horsepower as I did and bigger tires than I did. Definitely, I know, I mean, I kind of know what it can do. I was just worried about, because last year I didn't have nitrous, and this year I did. I was honestly worried that the ring opinion made it through that. The whole time I was kind of sick of my stomach going through that mud hole, because I'm like, something's going to give. That ring opinion is going to give. It's got to be on its last leg, and it made it. And whenever I made it as far as I did, I actually thought I was going to make it all the way through, but I didn't turn my windshield wipers on. I'm lucky I didn't even hit a flag or a stake. If you watch that video, I cannot see out my window. I absolutely cannot. I was driving. I unbuckled my seatbelt. I was driving, and I was in the passenger seat because I had a little window. It was all I could do to even keep my foot all the way on that pedal, because I don't know why I spaced it out. I had a weed sprayer with like 30 gallons of water in the back seat, and I just put windshield wipers on that morning, and it was just luck. I just lucked out again, is all it was, man.
So there was no strategy, no plan of attack. That all went out the window when you couldn't
Leave
see.
it wooded. I mean, leave it wooded and not let off till I wasn't moving, for sure. That's pretty much my motto with any crossing any mud hole or whatever. I mean, leave it wooded till something breaks or you're across it.